Have you ever heard of raves? For some, they're simply electronic parties. For others, they're transformative experiences. But raves, in their purest essence, aren't just music and light events, they're a culture, an act of resistance, a collective journey beyond the norm. A rave is an electronic music party, yes, but it's also much more than that. Traditionally, it's been a self-organized, illegal, or marginalized event, held in unconventional locations like abandoned warehouses, forests, caves, deserts, or factories. Places where isolation ensures the experience won't be interrupted and the community remains closed, intimate, protected from the outside world. Unlike conventional concerts, a rave has no fixed schedule or established script. Some can last all night. Others, even several days in a row. Some people set up tents, cook in groups, take breaks, and experience the event as a kind of temporary micro-society where normal rules no longer apply. It's a parenthesis in reality. But how was this culture born? The origin of raves dates back to the late 1970s and early 1980s. In cities like Chicago and Detroit, genres like house and techno emerged, then traveled to the United Kingdom, where young people adopted them as the soundtrack of a cultural revolution. They began organizing illegal parties, the first raves, outside the scrutiny of the authorities. These parties were spontaneous, decentralized, and secret. Word spread via payphones, coded flyers, or simple text chains between acquaintances. The essence of these raves was clear: an escape from control, from commercialism, from traditional entertainment consumption. There were no VIP areas, no security cameras, no expectations. Just music, community, and a shared sense of total freedom. With that freedom, however, also came experimentation with psychoactive substances. The use of drugs such as MDMA, ecstasy, LSD, ketamine, and amphetamines became common in the rave scene, especially during the 1980s and 1990s. These substances altered the perception of time, intensified sensory experiences, and fostered a sense of unity with others. In many cases, ravers did not use them solely for recreation, but as part of a spiritual or emotional quest. It's important to clarify that not everyone who attends raves uses drugs, and that many communities within the movement promote responsible consumption or even its rejection. However, to deny their presence would be to ignore a fundamental and controversial part of this culture. This reality led many governments to persecute raves, automatically associating them with crime and disorder. In the United Kingdom, for example, the Criminal Justice Act was passed in 1994, which prohibited unauthorized gatherings with repetitive music. Absurd, but true. Paradoxically, the more attempts were made to repress rave culture, the more its legend grew. The prohibition made it even more attractive. Instead of disappearing, raves adapted. They became more mobile, harder to track, more decentralized. Sometimes there wasn't a single organizer, but rather groups that collaborated to create the minimal infrastructure: sound, electric generators, lighting, and, of course, the DJs. In this context, the DJ becomes a sonic shaman, someone who not only spins music, but also guides the collective energy for hours or days. The mix never stops, there are no obvious pauses or transitions. The music flows seamlessly, like a hypnotic river that transports the audience into a near-trance state. Dancing for 8, 10, or even 20 hours is not unusual. It's part of the journey. Over time, some raves evolved into legal and commercial events. Festivals like Boom, Portugal, Universo Paralelo, Brazil, Burning Man, USA, and Mardi Gras, Spain, emerged, maintaining some of the original spirit, but now with permits, security, and sponsors. Even so, the underground remains alive. In many corners of the world, clandestine raves continue to be organized with the same passion as decades ago. And an authentic rave isn't defined by the DJ lineup or the size of the stage. It's defined by the sense of community, by respect for the shared space, by the motto that still guides this culture: PLUR, peace, love, unity, respect. An unwritten code that many attendees still take as law. So what is a rave? It's a party, yes. But it's also a modern ritual, an escape from the system, a collective act of freedom. An experience that can change you, break down your barriers, connect you with strangers, and make you feel part of something bigger. And you? Have you ever been to a rave? Would you like to experience one? What do you think of this fascinating and complex culture? Tell me in the comments, subscribe to the channel if you liked this video, and remember, the dance floor isn't in a place, it's in an attitude. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.